So guys, welcome to Stream Key Fun and Friday. It is the first Friday of the new year, so we're kicking off the podcast in 2019. I wonder how many Fridays we'll do this year. But welcome to the show. We have as the guest this week, KhalysiTV here, right on time as always. Khlaysi, how's it going today?
Listen, I hear that people who are late in life live longer, happier, successful lives. So that's just what I'm trying to aim for. You know, that's my goal for 2019. Be late. No.
That's great. Yeah, it's very specific.
Just kidding.
But you doing pretty well with the new year?
Yeah, so far. I haven't had too many days to screw it up yet, but we'll give it time. No, it's been good so far. Yourself?
Sweet. Cool. So Velok back with me again. How's it going today, Velok? I know you have a big announcement for people probably, because I don't think we've been on here since the thing happened.
No, maybe they don't know about it. But yeah, I'm full time now, so there's that.
Woo!
Big
Claps in the chat.
Super excited.
We'll clap. Don't worry. Very cool though. Your first day was Monday, I believe. Is what you said.
Sure.
Very, very cool. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing well too. Thanks for all you that asked in chat. I'm doing great, guys.
I hear your boss is a bully.
My boss?
Boss.
yeah, my boss is a bully. My wife. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah. So this is Stream Key. If you guys haven't seen this specific show, on Fridays you can actually call in and be on the show to ask questions. And because we only have 3 people this week, White Shadow is having some issues. You can actually call in. So if you'd like to call in and be on the show with us, ask questions about Twitch stuff, streaming stuff, whatever, you can join the link. It is not Discord right now. We're using a new software called Be Live. Actually, I'll just go ahead and copy the link into the chat.
Great command there.
Just ignore that command there. Click on that link if you want to join the show. Yeah, you can. I think there might be a way to join without webcam. I think they might have fixed that. But yeah, I'd love to have you guys call in and ask questions. We also talk about news over the past couple weeks, and we haven't done this since like almost a month, I feel like.
It's been so long.
It's been a while with New Year's and all the holiday breaks. So there's a little bit of news to talk about. You guys, if you were here earlier, you saw the infamous clip that was very funny from the Ninja New Year's event with him trying to get everyone to floss. So that was pretty entertaining. I'll link that. I guess I can grab the link really quickly and post it somewhere in the chat. I closed off. Go find it if you want to see it. It's worth looking for. But I guess we can start with that. So there was the New Year's event for Ninja on New Year's Eve, obviously. And there's a lot of stuff that happened around that event that was kind of controversial. The biggest thing is that Twitch actually ran ads in other people's streams about the event, which doesn't sound bad, but think about it. So Twitch was basically running ads imagine like in your channel, right? If you stream at all, you could have had Ninja's ad in your channel telling that person, hey, go watch Ninja, instead of, don't watch this guy. You don't really want to watch that guy. Just go watch Ninja instead, right? So that received a lot of backlash from the community. Some of the biggest people like Dr. Disrespect were trashing Twitch about it, and basically lots of different opinions about it. Ninja had a response to it that he deleted on Twitter. I have a link to it if you guys want to go check it out. I'll post it in the chat. Basically, his comment was that, this helps everyone grow on Twitch. It's bringing more people to Twitch. Everyone grows. What's not to like? Is it just because it's me? And that was not taken so well, which I would imagine is why he deleted it. But I just want to get your guys' thoughts on that whole idea of Twitch just promoting the event through paid advertising, maybe the event as a whole, if you guys saw it at all. What do you guys think of that?
I think advertising other people's channels is grimy. I really don't like that at all. Like, I understand, like, it's like the biggest event that Twitch is doing, but you're some people had to lose a couple viewers that day just because of that. Like, that just sucks. That's just shitty.
Especially like if you're planning a New Year's stream, I don't know specifically, like, but how bad is that? Like, even if you're streaming on New Year's, like you want to do your own event or something, and then you go into the stream, they're like, go watch this better one. You don't want to watch this stuff.
This event's crazy over here. They're spending so much money on it. This one, you don't want this one.
It's pretty bad. Now, I don't think that all the blame was on Ninja necessarily, because it was really a Twitch initiative that he probably agreed to, and maybe didn't understand how they would specifically be advertising his stream and other people's channels. So I don't know that all blame's on him, but still the whole thing was just handled badly. And the other thing I was going to say is some people were kind of attacking Ninja because he has no self-promotion in his channel, as most streamers do. And then this was essentially self-promotion via paid advertising in other people's channels. So that was not taken too well by people. But Khlaysi, you have any thoughts on the whole that paid advertising thing or New Year's?
I mean, it's literally like the biggest form of BM self-promotion in other streams that like you can't even prevent. Like you can't ban a Twitch ad in your stream. Like I mean, it just seems ridiculous to me that Twitch thought that that was a great idea. If they wanted to advertise Ninja's stream and like get people to do it, I think they could have did it in other like platforms, like their Twitter, their Facebook, their whatever, but not Twitch itself. Like, I mean, people who are watching it on Twitch are already at Twitch, right? Like they're not gaining new necessary new exposure by it, which also is like part of, you know, Ninja's tweet, like talking about like gaining exposure and stuff like that. It's like those people are already on Twitch. Like, but yeah, I just think that's like you can't even prevent it in your channel. That I mean, I didn't even know about that one, and that just seems crazy to me that they actually thought that that was a good idea.
Yeah, you bring up a good point in the fact that part of the argument from Twitch, well, from Ninja really, was that, you know, this helps grow Twitch as a whole. But the problem is you're advertising people who are already on Twitch. You know, it's not like you said, if they had gone out and looked at other platforms like YouTube or something where people weren't already on Twitch, that would make more sense. But you can't really argue that it helps grow Twitch when you're just showing it to people who are already there. So I think that's a good point. Something else I was going to mention about that, I forgot. I do not remember. Anyway, I did want to mention that Mixer actually, speaking of that, I saw Mixer started running paid ads on YouTube, which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen Twitch do that, and I don't know, maybe YouTube wouldn't let Twitch do that because they're kind of a competitor. But I just think it's interesting that Mixer is now running paid ads on other places. I wonder if Twitch will kind of start to do that soon. Pretty interesting. Yep. By the way, if you guys called in, I think we saw Chilltastic maybe call in or somebody. Hang on just a sec. We will pull you in once we're done discussing that certain topic, and you can give your take on it or bring up a new topic or question if you want to get in there. I'll drop the link in the chat again if you would like to join the call. Okay, so a couple other little things that we saw. Twitch. So this is something I saw. Twitch is basically either is launching or has already launched a new ad option. This is sort of related to this, that basically it's unblockable ads. So you can't use ad block to get around them anymore. They're specifically designed to be unblockable ads that they're offering to advertisers. If you guys want to see more about that, I'll link this in the chat. There's a lot of links this week, but there was a streamer who was talking about it. And if you're watching Twitch, you know that ads are becoming much more rampant on the platform. And it's sort of interesting. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that, just all the ads, because I know that I've been seeing a lot of ads recently. It feels like more and more ads as I get on Twitch. Have you guys felt the same way?
Yeah, for sure.
Somehow I have turbos. So.
Somehow.
And I like there was a time where I don't use ad blocker, but no, there was a time I was going through with my friend. I was like, no, yeah, I don't see ads. I don't know if it's a sub or like something with ad block or something like that. We're like, wait, no, it literally doesn't work. Like ad blocks don't work. Like I'm still getting the ads, and I'm like, yeah, no, I've never seen an ad, and I don't know how long. And I'm like, wait, I'm not watching subbed channels. Nothing. I don't have any ad block on. Well, why am I not seeing ads? It was so confusing for me. And I went through this whole thing for like an hour, and I figured out that I have Turbo and I don't know how because I don't pay for it. I went looking through my cards, making sure there wasn't anything on my statements, all that other stuff. But yeah, I somehow acquired Turbo and no idea how that happened, and I don't pay for it. So let's knock on wood that doesn't go away. But yeah,
they'll hear you.
Yeah. So I enjoy the life of no ads anyway. So yeah.
Gosh. Oh, that's pretty nice. Yeah. So basically, this stuff is, I think, both for pre-rolls and mid-rolls, which if you guys don't know lingo, pre-rolls come before the stream starts. So you know how when you go into all the different streams, you get an ad every single time you go into a new stream now? Yeah, that's the pre-roll. The mid-roll is the one I believe that the partners can run to choose if they want to run. So those are both unblockable now from what I understand, and it looks like they're working on making them more and more unblockable as more ad blocks are developed. So that's the future of Twitch, guys. I guess
that makes sense. Though
it's
like, people are paying for that.
It is, and one thing, this actually was what I forgot for the last argument. The good argument I saw, sort of good, best argument I saw in response to the Ninja thing was that it is still a free platform at the end of the day, and you know it's free for people whether you want to watch or stream to it. So Twitch kind of has the right to promote their products if they want to wherever. It's not like they're charging anyone a fee for it. So I could kind of see that argument for it, and it kind of applies to this too. Like at the end of the day, we're all still choosing to use their platform despite the ads and things like that. So
right. As long as it doesn't become like Facebook. Facebook is nuts now. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get their use for ads. I think there's a point where you can overdo it, but anything has ads. Like you watch TV, you're gonna get an ad in like every 10 minutes or something like that. I don't know what the timer is on it, but yeah, like, I mean, you watch ads in most of the stuff you do, and in TV, really, like, in most cases, you don't get the opportunity to be like, hey, I'll pay a small fee to not have ads, where, Twitch does have that option. Like if you wanted, if you really, really despise ads, you can get rid of them. So, it's just a trade-off, but I think it's well within their rights to run ads as long as they keep it like, they just don't overdo it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it probably does help the growth of Twitch overall, assuming that they just don't keep all the money. But if they get the money through advertising and can develop new features and things like that, it could potentially really help the site as a whole, I think. So depends on how they execute it, really. But yeah, so that was one thing I saw. The last thing I saw was that there was a total of $375,000 raised for direct relief via the Bits hashtag charity thing, where you could use hashtag charity in the chat and it would donate a certain amount to direct relief. I think that was through December. So that's pretty cool that it was about $375,000.
That's a lot.
Yep. It's pretty cool. And it's basically, it wasn't really costing people anything, it was just kind of like an add-on that you could do while you're donating bits anyway. So it's cool to see that that was able to come out of that whole system. But yeah, last thing I saw, if you guys saw something else that I missed, it has been a while. I tried to see everything I could, and that's what I found. But let us know, and you can call in with something, or if you can't call in, you can always just tag us in the chat with your questions or comments or whatever, and we can discuss those too. So yeah. I did want to talk about, so this is the beginning of the year, and you guys know how much I love goals. So I wanted to talk a little bit through kind of like the year planning for 2019. If you guys have taken the time to think through, A, kind of like where you're at with your stream, and then B, any kind of, I'll say goals, but any kind of plans you have for your stream for the future. If you just want to kind of keep doing what you're doing, if you have some sort of big checkpoint you're going for, maybe starting with Vel. I know you just went full time. Do you have any sort of goal, or just sort of seeing where you end up right now?
So I have like a bunch of like smaller, like more like just daily achievable goals that like I'm gonna try to strive for. Like things to make it so that like I'm gonna try to get more entertaining. I'm gonna try to put out better content. Work on the quality of my stream. Work on like growing my community, networking, a bunch of those things. And I'm hoping that if I can pull those off, all of those off successfully, that maybe like towards the end of the year I can get to partnership. So yeah, I'm working towards partnership right now. I'm not like on a partner push because I legitimately hate when people do partner pushes because like I'm not about that at all. I plan on doing a lot of things to like improve my stream in a lot of different areas, and hopefully that works out.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about partner pushes a lot on the show.
Yeah,
that's cool though, because I like how you have the short term ones and the more actionable ones, and then also kind of that long term vision. Right. So do you think that partnership is a pretty big priority for you this year? Would you be pretty upset if you didn't get it this year?
Absolutely, only because of the fact that like this is what I do now. Like if I put in more time and this is the only thing that I do and I don't get partnership, like
yeah, it's like there's no excuse now, right?
Right. Yeah, like I need to kick my ass into gear now.
That's cool though. I like that you have that mentality because I think a lot of people who even go full time sort of still find reasons not everyone has to grow, right. But if that is something that they want and they still don't get it and work for it, I think I like what you're doing in terms of having that as a vision for the end of the year and really pushing for that. So it's cool without being a push to partner.
Right. Yeah. No hashtags or anything.
Yeah. Hashtags out of here. Khlaysi, first of all, where are you at with your stream? Because I know you've been moving around a lot and all that. And then also, you have any thoughts for the year for your own channel?
Well, I actually just started back yesterday. I had like a nice 7-hour stream. I finally got settled. I took a hiatus because I had to pack up my stuff, and then I moved, and the holidays hit, and then I had to unpack everything. So there's definitely a break there. But my hope and goal is to get back into it a little bit more and just get more streams in. No partner vision or anything like that in the future yet, but just to keep playing, having fun, and growing the channel. I mean, I'd been gone for it was definitely over a month, but even last night we had as much as almost 20 people coming back, and that always amazes me, even when I haven't streamed for a while, to have so many people like return to the stream, and I haven't been around, and then to have that many just show up when I do is really cool to remember,
Yeah, that's really cool. So kind of getting back into the swing of things with your stream and getting more consistent with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Like that very practical type of goal. So that's great. I saw a couple in the chat. Susie was saying true partner, which is pretty cool. If you guys want to call in and talk about your goals, you know how much I love goals. You can do that. The link's in the chat, or just talk in the chat if that's easier for you. Cool. Well, anything else that you guys want to mention? Any big, like maybe conference plans for the year, or anything new you want to do with your stream that you're thinking about? Maybe it's a different type of content like podcast or vlogging, or I don't know, anything kind of interesting you're thinking about?
I think vlogging could be cool, but I wouldn't want to do it until after I get partnered. I think, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many, and people do it very well. Like, Ashley Christ did her her vlogging before she got partnered, obviously, and had the right steps and everything. But I think if I were to do any sort of vlogging or anything like that, I'd want to just like have the background to verify first. And this is just for me. People can do whatever they want. I have no issues with it at all. But for me, I think if I could get partnered this year, maybe, do a couple of vlogs and see how they go. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
I have a lot of time on my hands, so.
For sure. But it seems like you kind of want to focus more on the streaming until you've hit that partnership checkpoint, and then look at some other ways. That's cool. I understand that. Khlaysi, have you thought about any sort of new content with your channel, or just kind of doubling down on what you're already doing?
Yeah, actually, there was one thing that I was Sorry. Well,
All good.
I couldn't find the mute. I couldn't find the mute the button on this new program, and I'm just like, I'm dying. No, but there was one thing that I wanted to do that I thought of the other day, and Jesus, it's like stuck. I'm gonna die on stream.
Time out, chat.
Hang in there. Don't worry. It's all right. Yeah, lots of sickness going around the office, actually.
Okay. No, but one thing that I had thought of that I wanted to do was I like to do puzzles. And the other day I was doing one, and I was sitting at my desk doing it, and I was like, you know, it would be pretty cool to like do that. You know how people do crafts, or they paint, or they do stuff like that, and they talk to chat and like keep themselves occupied while they do that kind of thing. I was like, I think it'd be kind of cool if I tried to set up like, you know, a puzzle stream and sit here and talk and hang out with chat. It's like something different. I don't know if a lot of people, or if there are people that do that on Twitch or not. But I thought that could maybe be a cool idea to experiment with, since I like doing puzzles, and I just be sitting here anyway, you know, and it'd be cool to it'd be more geared toward, I guess, like an IRL stream, because, you know, I'm not really playing any games or anything like that. But yeah, that was a thought I had for something to do maybe in the future.
Gotcha. That's cool. I don't think
into like a Twitch plays. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Have your chat run your puzzle for you. That could get a real trolley real fast.
That would be so frustrating.
God, yeah. That would be frustrating.
Terrible.
That's cool though, because I don't think I've seen a puzzle streamer on Twitch before that I can think of. So unique content, gotta love that.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, so some questions coming in from the chat. PandyRooEXE says, what kind of content would you say is beneficial to share to your social media? As of now, I'm mostly posting going live announcements, but I feel like I could do more with them to grow my channel more. Good question, PandyRoo. Let me kick this off to Velok first, because I know this is probably something a lot of people go through with social media. Like, you start out and you just post your going live. Maybe you still post your going live stuff, but at some point you got to take it to the next level. So what would you say to PandyRoo here?
First thing, make sure you're just doing like at least a tweet or two every day. Just random things that are going on in your day, because if all you do is just post when you're live, no one's really going to follow, because they can just get the notification from Twitch. So I've been trying to tweet a lot more. I'm trying to be on social media a lot more and just tweet out, you know, just things, and maybe like try not to retweet as much, because that will just flood their feed and they're not going to want to read a bunch of retweets. One thing I'm going to be working on is doing like clips for my stream. I'm going to be tweeting some of those, like funny moments, or, you know, nice plays in Fortnite, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of people use, like, I think Twitter is probably the most used one of all social media with streaming, maybe besides Discord, which isn't really a social media in the traditional sense. Right. But I think a lot of people make the mistake of posting a lot of links and like off-site things on Twitter, and not just having organic Twitter discussions and thoughts. So that's definitely something I would recommend too, is trying to create like discussions or just asking questions without posting a link to your stream or link to something you want people to look at. Even like clips and stuff are okay, but I think just lots of discussion content on Twitter is really helpful to grow. Yeah. And Instagram is the same way. I think a lot of people just post links to their channel, and first of all, you can't post links in Instagram posts, so that's something to learn. But secondly, you can find more interesting ways to use Instagram. I know Velok used Instagram for a while. I think you still use Instagram for stuff.
Not as much as I used to, but I'm getting back into it.
Khlaysi, what do you think about social media, by the way? I don't know if you have a certain one you prefer, but what have you learned with that kind of thing?
I definitely just mostly prefer Twitter use with Twitch. I never really got into the Instagram thing, or I have an Instagram and I've used some, but I kind of keep that more like personal. Also, I try not to have, and because I also don't want to run multiple accounts for multiple different social medias and all that stuff. But I want to have some stuff that's like separate to my real life stuff. Like Facebook is mostly, tied to my real life relationships and things like that, not anything to do with my stream. I don't mention my stream. I don't say anything about it there. So, yeah, I do have a little bit of separation. I haven't used Instagram in so long for either purpose. I just haven't got around to, pictures of food and my dog, but, no, but yeah, mostly Twitter is the big one that I really prefer, and like associating that with my Twitch.
Yeah, I gotcha. I think that's a good point too, is you kind of find whatever social media suits you best. Like, you don't necessarily have to feel like you have to cover everything at once. I think a lot of people find, if it's for Khlaysi, it's Twitter. Maybe for Velok, it's Snapchat. Like, finding the social media that you like the most and will use the most can help you be more consistent with it, and you can find more interesting ways to use it. So that's a good point. And yeah, like you said, Pandy at some point you got to stop doing just going live posts. Although those are good when you actually are going live, you have to make it about more than that, or otherwise people won't really follow the account, because it's just posts about going live. So why would you follow that? But good question. I appreciate that. We have a call actually from SnoopHog. So I want to pull him in really quickly here. See if this works out. All right.
Hi.
There we go.
God.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, Snoop?
That was the weirdest thing ever. It did like a countdown.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All set up.
Not at all.
How is everybody? Hey, listen here, Vel. Don't make me start yelling already. I've been in here 3 seconds. See? Everybody wants to call in and they get yelled at by Vel. See? 2019, off to a hot start here.
That's why I got here.
So my question is, besides dying on stream, like Khaleesi's doing right now, how would you handle YouTube content in the aspect of, do you think it's better to keep it in line with what you do on stream, where, you post clips or highlights you playing games, or, your chat shows or whatever you do, or a more behind the scenes look of like a vlog, a more personal one-on-one with the camera, or possibly doing some like, actual real deal, I guess, vlogging, with, walking around like a fool with the thing in front of your face and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, that's what we all do here in front of the screen. That's the only difference.
It's a little different when you're in Walmart with a DSLR in front of your face and everybody's looking at you like you got 12 heads. But do you think that people would rather see, or do you think it's more beneficial to do a more behind the scenes IRL look, or do you think that it should be in line with where your content creation is on your live stream platform?
That's a good question, because I think YouTube is really underused by most Twitch people. So I'm glad you asked that. So Velok, I'll start with you here first. What are your kind of thoughts on how you should use YouTube?
If it's possible, I think you should do both, to be honest. Like, why limit the content that your viewers want? Like some people will want to see like the highlights from your streams. Some people will want to see extra content from you that doesn't have anything to do with your stream. And either one will bring more people to your channel eventually. So,
okay,
very true. Khlaysi, do you have any feelings about YouTube, or maybe if you like watch people who stream on Twitch but also make YouTube content, any experience with that?
There was a time where I was definitely trying to add like clips and stuff to YouTube, but I also didn't have the time and the means to really push out a ton of YouTube content, like doing excessive editing and like stringing together a bunch of different stuff. But I tried to just put like, some clips and things that I had gotten up, or but I mean, I do think it's obviously good, like Velok said, why not? The only thing it's going to do is, maybe even if only one person sees those videos and they come to your channel, that's one more person. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. There's definitely people that I like to watch on YouTube that I do watch on Twitch, because I don't always get to catch their stream, and it's not that I want to sit there and watch their VOD, because for me, I like the live experience. Like when they're live, that's when I want to be there. If I miss it, then I don't watch the VODs as much. But in YouTube, I like to catch, you know, the biggest portion. They do like a lot of highlight reels. Like Tim the Tatman is one that I watch. He's got a ton of those just episodic highlight reels for all of his streams, and they're usually pretty you know, they catch the funny parts and things like that you shouldn't have missed. And so when I'm bored sometimes, I like to I'll sit there and watch a few of those.
Right. Yeah, montages are definitely like I think probably the first thing you think of with Twitch to YouTube stuff. I think it's a matter of how much time you have. Like Villox said, ideally you could just do it all of the content.
Right.
But depending on how much time you have to edit stuff and record stuff, you have to be a little bit strategic about it, I would say. One good example from the chat, Elliot _ said one of his favorite streamers records his videos live on stream and then puts them on YouTube, which I have seen people do really well. For example, like if you play a competitive game and you want to describe a matchup, like, you know, I look at League and Smash, you could actually record that during the stream, like talk as if you're talking to YouTube while streaming it, and then just cut that and put it on YouTube. And that way you're actually doing both at the same time. Now, it doesn't work for all different types of games and content, depending how long it is and how suited it would be for YouTube. That's a good way you can be more efficient about it and not have to take so much time out of streaming to make YouTube content. So that's a cool idea. I also think vlogging is pretty underrated because you can get really dedicated with it and in depth in editing, but you can also just literally turn on the camera, record, and post to YouTube. And even that, I think, would be enough of something to help you grow. And the big thing about YouTube and social media in general, like we talked about with the last caller, is it's a good way to get more people to your channel because the discoverability stuff on Twitch is not the best. So you're going to have a better chance of finding people to come watch you on things like YouTube and maybe Twitter and other things with more search features and ways to find you. So I definitely think it's very underused. And I would personally say at least start with just like a simple talking to the camera video. It's just like streaming really, but you just make a separate video for YouTube. Don't worry about editing or anything. And then just put that on YouTube. And that's a really good way to get started with YouTube. And if it kind of takes off and you build more of a following there, then you can look at maybe hiring an editor or learning more about it yourself. That's kind of what I would say about that.
No, I agree. I appreciate that.
Sure.
And I guess a little bit of a segue and follow-up is, how do you feel about not so much Instagram? Like I heard you guys talking about, you know, don't just post that you're live, and I completely agree with that. But one, Instagram live, because I know Instagram's algorithm favors live before anything else. It's like live, then sponsored post, then everything else. So I wonder, what I was thinking of is essentially maybe possibly going live on Instagram and kind of placing it, you know, for those of you that can't see what I'm doing, directly in front of you where your light is and your camera, but out of view of the stream, and going live at the same time and being able to interact with the Instagram community at the same time as your, you know, streaming community.
That's interesting. I would guess you couldn't do that on Twitch if you're an affiliate or partner, because I think it's still technically live streaming to a different platform at the same time. So I know it's different when you're Mixer, so you may be able to. I don't know anyone who's done it, and you'd have to get. I don't know how you would get all that stuff onto Instagram. Does that make sense? Like, I don't.
So I don't mean broadcasting to Instagram.
Okay.
I literally mean almost like a one-on-one, just kind of almost like a behind-the-scenes look of what's actually going on live, and then you can kind of direct your community to open up their phone and be like, oh, you know, this is what's going on behind the scenes. Especially if you focused your stream right and you did your overlays and your management on your setup for when you're live, you could essentially almost make it like like I watch. There's a Mixer partner who's pretty big, and he does all these crazy effects and stuff, but he has a third camera that he goes to sometimes when he's talking that is literally in like the back right corner of his room that oversees everything in the room. And it's pretty cool actually to see, like, because he does so many effects, like the guy's got 3 stream decks lined up and macro keys and all this other crazy stuff. And it's really cool to see sometimes, like you see his 3 screens. So I'm kind of thinking doing that, just removing the feature off of Mixer so much and pushing it to Instagram to just kind of get more eyes and hopefully direct more people into obviously the main platform, which is Mixer.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of anyone talk about that before, but as long as it's not like some sort of violation, I would say try it out, because that's kind of a cool idea too. Because if you have people who are watching or are on Instagram and find you and they see that, like, oh, what's this guy doing? Maybe you can do the swipe up thing or add a link in there and they can go watch the actual stream. And then, like you said, vice versa, you can direct people from Twitch or Mixer to like go see the third secret camera for Instagram followers over here.
Yeah,
kind of interesting.
I think it would be a nice segue to kind of just grab a new audience, especially because I've been looking at a lot of algorithm stuff lately, and the way, you know, and this isn't because I'm on Mixer or whatever, but Twitch, especially being on Twitch, like even if I was on Twitch, I would consider doing this, especially because there's no real discoverability algorithm on Twitch. It's kind of, you know, you hope that somebody scrolled down far enough in the category. And this is kind of a way to really redirect that. And with Instagram, they favor live over everything else. And, you know, Mixer favors you as your numbers go up. They tend to push you up in their discoverability category. So like, even for example, last night I ended up streaming way later than I wanted to, but I ended up with like 25 viewers in the web shows, which is like they're just talking, and it pushed me to the top 5 of their up and coming section, which is directly on their front page underneath the featured streamers. So I got an enormous amount of interaction off of that last night because the way the algorithm works. So it's kind of like a time and place thing and reading the algorithms that way. But I think something unique like that being on Instagram could really pop off and at least redirect, even if you got 10% of the traffic from your Instagram over to your streaming platform, especially being Twitch with, you know, being saturated and stuck in the analytics. It's just another way to put people's eyes on you. Yeah,
I think that's really cool. Actually, I would definitely try that out personally. Khlaysi and Vel, do you guys have any thoughts on that whole idea?
I think it's sweet, to be honest. I might look into doing something like that.
I don't really use Instagram that much. I mean, like it's a thought, but like I said, yeah, I don't tie that to my streaming stuff. I mean, it sounds like a really cool idea for sure. I don't think I'm quite there yet to try and attempt to do something like that. Plus, also, I feel like that would be, I don't know, it'd definitely be getting close to the line, if not crossing it for, you know, Twitch side of things. I feel like, you know, because it's like you're not really streaming to it, but you're kind of. I feel like it's a gray area at the moment, so I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be, because I think the rule is you can't stream the same content to a different platform within 24 hours. But is it really the same content?
I thought it was a live streaming platform, 1, but 2, I also agree. It's not really, you're not streaming game, you know, you're not streaming what you're doing on your screen that you're capping and sending out to Twitch. You're only streaming really what's going on everywhere else. They wouldn't even see the screen.
Yeah, but you still have, it's a weird question. I don't know, like is a different camera angle considered different content, or, you know, because it's still the same person on both stream doing the same thing, but from a different view. It's very nuanced. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess cool for like a setup part, like, so like I have like my just like screen up that like you can't see me at all on there. I have some music playing or whatever, and like while I'm tweeting or something, or like I don't know what I could be doing something on my computer to set some things up. So like there's like I'm streaming technically, but I'm not on the stream at all. And then like I'll be on Instagram and they can see me just sitting there. I don't know. I think that would be cool. That way, like they're not seeing anything that the stream would be seeing.
Yeah.
Almost like a pre-roll. That would actually be really cool during like your starting soon screen. That's another good way to look at it too.
Oh yeah.
I will say, I know, like I listen to a lot of Professor Broman, and again, he's in a different position, but he says it all the time. He's like, if Twitch really starts whacking people for putting their content out, like, because technically you can't even montage your stuff and put it to YouTube until it's been 24 hours, the way the contract's written.
Right.
And how many streamers you see have their highlight montage out, you know, the same day or the same hour after they end. A lot of it, he says, is, you know, it's in the contract, but you see even him, you know, as a partner streamer, he says it all the time. He's like, Twitch would be crazy to limit your exposure and traffic to their website. So I don't know. Again, it's a gray area. Like for me personally, I didn't even want to risk it. I canceled my affiliateship, you know, for a number of reasons, but mostly because if I ever did decide to, you know, grow my brand and push back content to Twitch to try to get more people while I'm live over to Mixer and Restream, I couldn't do that with the affiliate contract, or I didn't want to risk it. I see some Mixer partners that do it, you know, even bigger ones that have, you know, affiliate on Twitch and they still Restream to Twitch, but they don't get a lot of traction, obviously, over on Twitch, you know, 3-4 viewers or whatever. So Twitch, obviously, unless somebody's reporting, I don't think they're really looking to see if the guy's streaming on Mixer.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting with the whole concept of being on many different platforms and growing a brand. I think that it could be a limit of Twitch and the affiliate program and stuff. So I understand that aspect of it. But in general, I think that experimenting with new ways to bring exposure is a cool idea. So I would definitely try out the Instagram thing personally.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool. Anything else to add on here?
No, I think I'm good.
Sweet, man. Thanks for being maybe our first caller, I think, on this format. So
I actually like this. This is really, really cool. If you guys haven't checked out the Be Live platform, it was super simple to set up. If you're a 2 PC person like me, I had to open my other PC and turn everything on because of my camera. But it's really, really cool. The 3-2-1 thing bugged me out a little bit when it started counting down. But it's cool. Like, I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at, but it's essentially you see the 3 of them lined up, and then you're in this little camera in the bottom right corner, and it has all their names. And you actually, as soon as you connect, you can actually mute the stream because you hear what they're saying, and then it gives you like a little countdown before you're live on the screen. So it's pretty cool. If you haven't gotten the chance, click that link and jump in.
Yep. I just posted in the chat if you guys want to try it out. It's a pretty cool program. You log in with your Twitch account. You can also use like Facebook and stuff, but most of us probably use Twitch or just use a general account. But it's really cool if you want to try it out and join the show. But thanks, Snoop, for calling in.
Thank you, guys.
See you for the next week. After dark stuff.
Love you.
I love your faces.
All right. See you, man.
My only thing is I haven't figured out how to mute yet, so I can, you know.
Yeah, there are limitations of it for sure. But we're working with the devs actually, which is pretty cool. So hopefully that'll be coming soon, and desktop audio and things like that. So pretty nifty. All right. So anything I missed here? Okay, that was not a question. If you guys have a question in the chat, now is a great time to ask. Wide open if you want to talk about your own social media struggles with Twitch or something else for your channel. You know, it could be finding emotes or ways to collaborate with people, stuff like that. Feel free to ask in the chat or join the call. The link is in the chat for the call, or you can tag us to ask that question. But yeah, I don't have anything else huge that I'm preparing for. Looks like Woolsey Mouth was talking to you, Val, so that was pretty exciting. Very excited about your full time. Okay, so here's a good question from Pandy Roo. By the way, thanks Rambicos for the sub. White Shadow had a PC issue. He should hopefully maybe be joining later if he can get it fixed. So hang tight. Pandy Roo said, any camera lighting tips? That's a good question. I don't know. Vel had a weird setup for his lighting at some point. Still got it? Okay, you want to describe it?
So I have one of those like lamps that's like on that huge stand. And I have one pointed at the wall and the other one pointed kind of like this way, but it has a white t-shirt over it to kind of like make it so it's not like quite as intense. And that's my setup. And I have a hair tie around that t-shirt to make sure it stays on. Don't do it with regular bulbs because you'll burn your place down. Do it with those what are those, the LED ones? I think they are like those ones. They don't get hot enough to burn stuff. I've left those on overnight, and I'm still here, and everything is still here.
That still sounds scary.
Well, yeah, because he asked on a budget, so that's pretty budget friendly.
That is about as budget as it gets. Like we already had the lamp. I already had a t-shirt, and I had some hair ties. It was the only the LED bulbs.
Well, there you go. It's a pretty good option. Khlaysi, I don't know if you've played around with lighting for your own stream, but any advice there?
Oh, I've not.
No,
I have not. I mean, I've not gone as far. Like I've bought a lot of stuff for my stream, but lighting is definitely one that I have not invested in yet. I always thought it would be cool eventually to get some of the lights that interact with your stream, but of course, you know, that's not really lighting for stream. That's just extra. You know, like when they sub and the lights change and all that. But that's not doesn't really help out your lighting too much in terms of like you know, visibility and stuff like that, clear cams. So luckily in this place I have extra lights, really, really bright white lights that help in my room on the wall so there's like 3 or 4 of them. So that's helped my lighting a bit, but I didn't I didn't specifically buy them. Yeah, I've never gone as far as to invest in lighting yet though, but
Gotcha. Do you have like any beginner tips then for someone who is just sort of new to all of it and wants like a general thing to get started with lighting maybe?
Well, I mean, I'd say like, you know, as long as you can be seen, you know, it's not super dark, or makes the cam look really crappy or anything like that. To start, like, no one's gonna be like, ew, I mean, you don't have 5 lights in the background blinding you, like shining in your face. Like, this is a terrible stream. I mean, like, I feel like, you know, a close lamp or something like that can help give you some extra light to kind of brighten up the screen and stuff would help. But I mean, like, as long as you're visible and it doesn't look really crappy, I don't think it's going to be a big deal to start out.
Right. Yeah, for sure. You can definitely, when you're starting, do a lot with just like the lights you probably already have. I know that's what I've done. I don't have the best lighting in this particular shot, but I would say kind of work with what you have and just move stuff around the house. You can get really cheap lights and do a lot with them. You don't have to get like the crazy like lighting kits that are out there. If you can get them, they're nice. But personally, like, I really want a ring light. I think you can do a lot with ring lights, and they're really good even lighting. You can put like the camera inside the light if you want to. Usually, if you're looking for like kind of the next level up, you can look into that, I would say. But yeah, light. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think it was Pems who used to do like, he had the lights inside of cardboard boxes or something. I don't know if it was, I think maybe, but it was like, you know, you can direct like exactly where the light's coming from and how much light comes off of it. Be an interesting idea. I think it was like on the desk beside him. I don't know how he set it up or if it was Pems. I thought it was Pems, but maybe it wasn't. But you know, that could be an interesting idea too. Just like the way you block it off and position it around your camera to help out. So
right. Yeah, it's getting creative with things like that, kind of like Veloc's solution there with putting I
got that from Pims. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, he's just a master of budget lighting.
Everyone's got their talent. No, that's really cool though, and it just goes back to what I was saying. You can get a lot out of simple lights that you don't need a super big lighting kit for. And I think if you were to look at like all the things you get for your stream, lighting is later down the road,
right?
Compared to a lot of other things you get in terms of like a nice microphone or PC gear or whatever. Lighting kind of comes at the end of that list, in my opinion. So, or
if you don't even have a webcam, then you don't need lighting.
That's true. Yeah, and if you have like a green screen, that'll kind of affect how much lighting you need. So it varies a lot from person to person. Yep.
I think that's one thing why I didn't invest as much into lighting yet either. Because I mean, I definitely know that mine could use some improvement. But I also don't use a green screen right now. And definitely with a green screen is when you really need to have good lighting to make sure all of that works properly. So without it, you can kind of get away with less and still have a decent lighting setup.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. All right, so Snoop is available for, I guess, the rest of the episode. If we got about like 25 minutes, so White Shadow's gone. I figure we'll bring Snoop back on to stay with us for a while. So Snoop, you good to go? I can see you, by the way. You can't see me. I think you can. But I'll bring on Snoop here, and he'll be our fourth for the rest of the show. Then welcome back, Snoop.
Hi, I can see you, but it's all good.
Yeah, right. Couldn't.
Yeah, I haven't done a Friday show in a while, so I'm excited.
Yeah, welcome back. It's the AM. I know it's not your usual shift.
This guy again.
It's terrible. I mean, I forget that you have Vel here on Friday every week, so I have to remind myself, like, I need the distance at least a couple weeks at a time before I come back.
Right. Okay, so one thing I saw in the chat, and I did see this. So I try to stay away too much from like specific streamer controversy because like that's still kind of Twitch news, but not really. For someone, I think Jesse brought it up in chat. There was a controversial streamer who I think he got banned for like doing some sort of abuse on stream for his wife or significant other, and he got banned, but now he's back on Twitch. That is a thing. I don't want to go too in depth on that because I don't want to like witch hunt streamers or make that what the show is about. But if you want to look into that,
anymore.
What?
It's offensive. You can't say witch hunt anymore.
Oh, really?
Oh, here we go. Yes, offense the witches. The witches signed a petition.
Well, I don't want to.
Sorry.
I don't know what you call it then. Target people. In any case, there's info out that about. Excuse me. There's info out there about that. If you want to see more, I just try to avoid that generally on this show. So I think we have open questions now, though. So if you guys want to ask something, now is a great time to tag us in the chat. Like I said, we got about 20 or so minutes left in the show today. Snoop, is there anything that we kind of missed with streaming news? I don't know if you're here for the start of the show.
I missed the beginning. I was at the dentist getting my head drilled.
Okay, gotcha. Well, we basically talked about the New Year's event with Ninja and the ads for that were so controversial. New ad options for Twitch. And the amount raised by direct relief stuff over December. Is there anything else that you saw that we missed by chance?
Yeah, I mean, other than that thing, Twitch is just, there's a lot of hot water around Twitch, especially in the very beginning of the year, unfortunately, and the way they ended 2018 with the Ninja thing and causing so many controversy with their broadcasters. And then, Ninja obviously removing the tweet, and then now this current thing with the quote unquote witch hunt or whatever. But, it's just a lot of, it's growing pains, and I don't side with any part of it, but I also understand and realize that, people still romanticize Twitch as this small platform that it was when we all started watching. And it's not that anymore. This is a media powerhouse, and everything they do is going to be controversial, regardless if it's good or bad. Somebody's not going to like it, and somebody's going to be vocal. And a lot of the time, it's going to be their own people, because who else talks about Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Twitch is getting a lot bigger than it used to be, for sure. I agree with that. And one thing we also mentioned is that, so kind of as a comparison, we saw Mixer started running paid ads on YouTube recently. Maybe other platforms, I'm not sure, like Hulu and stuff. But that was pretty interesting, and that might be something that we see Twitch start to do in response, or maybe they don't have the option of doing that because they are bigger and they are more seen as a competitor by those platforms. So I'm not sure if you have any thoughts on that as well.
I mean, I think it's really, really cool. Their new ad campaign, for those that haven't seen it, they spend so much money. It's insane. But the really cool part of their new ad campaign, so like I actually recently saw Battlefield 5. Their advertisements actually include Twitch streamers live. I mean, obviously not live, but clips from live streams in their advertisements on television and on like Hulu and stuff like that. So there was clips of like Gold Glove and Grimm's playing Battlefield 5, and it was something about, join up with your team or squad or something like that. But that's another aspect of it being in mainstream media. The thing with Mixer, and you got to remember, it's Microsoft backed. They got deep pockets. So who knows how much money they're spending on the advertisements. And it's funny because in all reality, I don't see where Mixer's making their revenue right now. I know they're eventually going to implement ads. There's no ads as of yet, but they will obviously follow suit with everybody else. They'd be crazy not to monetize the platform in some way, shape, or form. But they're eventually going to release the Embers thing too, which is like bits on Twitch. So they'll make some money there, and they obviously make the split on subs. But their advertisement campaign, the coolest thing I found about that is like when you see Twitch, if you see a Twitch ad in a random space or even on like, Facebook scrolling, 90% of the time it's like Ninja, you know what I mean? Or another huge name on the platform. The cool thing, what I found about Mixer is their entire ad was no actors, it was all their streamers. Obviously they're upper echelons of streamers and they're bigger partners and well-known names, but they had some partners on there in that commercial that had, under 70,000 follows, which is, it's still a big number on that platform, but you're talking the guy Syph, who only had a 2-second spot and was sleeping, their biggest streamer, just broke 300,000. And his whole spot was him sleeping in a like one of those women's hairnet chairs with the old school dryers.
Interesting.
But they rented Lamborghinis for the thing, and the guy I had mentioned before with the camera, he's driving around in the Lamborghini. So they're pushing their ad campaign very, very hard. They're doubling down on that platform and trying to get more and more viewership. And I know even before they started doing ad roll in the last 6 months, they've almost doubled their viewership and their active users, which is, obviously huge. And everybody's pushing the space. Facebook is another one that is incredibly hard pushing their live streaming platform right now.
Yeah, Facebook. That's maybe a good transition topic. I'm curious what you guys think about Facebook streaming, because I honestly don't run into it a lot. I don't know if you've seen a lot of people who have tried it, or people maybe that have switched from Twitch or Mixer to Facebook. Have any of you guys seen people that have done that? Nope.
I mean, I've seen people do live streaming for it, but what I've seen and also what I associate it with, I guess myself, like what I try and tie it to is more like IRL type things, and like just, friends just, goofing off and streaming different things. But it's, to me, I don't see it as like the big gaming platform for like streaming, your games, or like trying to grow like that. I feel it's more like casual, or just like, I think I'm gonna go live, or people do it, people have more of a strategy to it, but I don't see it as like the big gaming thing. Or I mean, and it might be for some people, but I don't watch anyone play games on Facebook or anything like that. So, I mean, most of it's like IRL stuff, or they want to share moments, and so they'll go live for a little bit while they're doing what they're doing. But other than that, yeah, I don't see it the same way as I see Twitch.
Yeah. My biggest problem with Facebook has always been that they're doing so many different things. It's like they have a social media, and they have an eBay, and they have a Craigslist, and they have streaming, and they have it's just so much going on. And the only argument there is they have the money for it, so they can potentially grow it through money, really, and just that way. But I don't think they're, like you said, ever going to be like the premier gaming platform for streaming. And I like I said, I don't know anyone who uses Facebook game stream. Facebook gaming, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Snoop, do you have any experience with that?
I see the chat, and I see everybody and the naysayers, and I understand it's Facebook. People need to not sleep on Facebook, especially content creators that are either just starting out or are in a place on Twitch where they're kind of, that a decent established community, but growth is kind of stagnant, that kind of stuff. You need to not sleep on Twitch. And the reason I say that is because they have 1 billion active users around the world. 1 billion with a B. And they are pushing that platform very hard and slowly implementing and rolling out. And the reason I say this, if you when's the last time anybody here has been on Facebook and actually looked at their gaming section? Because I can tell you there is a ton of people, and their analytics and their metrics and the way their algorithms work are absolutely incredible. I always use Darkness429 as the big example. He was a mid-level Twitch partner who streamed with Professor Broman and King Cathalion and all those guys. He was approached by Facebook and their dev team, and they essentially sent him out an email and were like, hey, we're really interested in putting your content in front of our people. We want to speak to you and whatever. And obviously, when you get an email from Facebook, you're not going to ignore it, because it is the biggest social media platform, hands down. It dwarfs everything. And now they own Instagram. But their directed ads, the way they do it and everything else, his growth on that platform has been absolutely insane. He, in his first 6 weeks on Facebook, he had 60,000 followers and was averaging 3,000 viewers. His more recent streams, I think I forget what his follower number is, but he's averaging 11 to 15,000 concurrent viewers every day when he streams. And I can't even say the same for Mixer. The biggest platform, or the biggest person on Mixer, maybe gets 1,500 to 2,000 on a good day. your average partner gets anywhere from 300 to 700 viewers, you know, your average big partner on the platform. And I mean, he's competing with Twitch numbers. You know, you're talking 10K plus viewers. That's a huge base to be in front of. And that space is so new that you have the opportunity. First to content is huge. And like, even I'm late to the game on Mixer, 2 years into the hole, and it's still obviously working out well. But Facebook, you could be the first through the door before that blows up. And Facebook is one of those things, they don't let ventures die. It's not like other companies where, like, even Microsoft, you know, you saw Groove Music and their big competition with stuff. Facebook doesn't let their ventures die. They double down every time because they want it to succeed. So they're directing advertisement, the way their algorithms work. If you're searching for a game, like obviously Fortnite's the most popular game period, no matter where you are, people searching for Fortnite content, the way that algorithm works is if I punch in Fortnite and your stream is popping off and it's starting to get more and more and more viewerships, they drop you right to the top of the category. Even if there's somebody at 125 or 150 viewers and you're sitting at 15 when you just start and you make it up to 30 within like 10, 15 minutes, they're going to push your content up because obviously something's working and it's going to get more eyes on it.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't have enough experience with Facebook to know all about it, but it's interesting hearing that stuff from you since you've done a little bit more research into it. Have you thought about streaming on Facebook before?
I personally don't, just because I will say you got a lot of people. The other thing where people were getting uncomfortable was was the fact that when you comment and you talk, so how it works is your live video and then you have the comments underneath, just like you see like any other Facebook live post. And how it works is it posts under your real name. There's no option to make like a user account. And that was everybody's big fear at first. But listening to, I was listening to Broman's podcast recently with Tim, who's Darkness429 that made the transfer. And this was when he first made it over there. He's, I guess, going to have him back. So for anybody that wants to check that out, it's going to be worth it. He said that people have just, they don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Unless you're some huge name where people are going to show up at your house and find you. You know what I mean? You're a commenter in a video. Nobody cares. Nobody's coming to find you. Nobody's DDoSing people unless you're, you know, it's very rare that you get the neckbeard in the basement who wants to attack everybody on the internet. So to be honest with you, you're just, that was a big fear for a lot of people. And he said that nobody cares. And the only thing they lack over there is a way to host or feature people. And that was the one complaint. And I don't know if that's changed because I haven't looked at the platform in a little while. But, you know, they're monetizing streams as well, obviously, because, you know, nobody's going to stream there if there is not some aspect of making money at some point other than directed donations. So they've added different ways. I forget what they're called, but their version of bits. I believe they're adding or have added sub buttons. And their partners get the coolest thing is obviously you don't get encoding options when you first start. And like anywhere else other than Twitch, you don't get encoding options until you're a partner. But as a partner on Facebook, you actually get a new dedicated server specifically only for partners to stream at 1080/60. So you're not competing with the bandwidth of everybody else on the platform.
Huh. That's interesting. I might look into it more just to get more familiar with it. Because I know they have been advertising it and pushing it. And like I said, at the end of the day, they have the user base and the money. That's more than anybody else, I would argue, even like YouTube. So they could potentially do stuff with it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do with it. But I don't know if any last thoughts here from Veli and Khlaysi that we have about Facebook before we move on.
No.
I mean, that sounds really interesting, like hearing the new stuff that, you know, I didn't know about. But at the same time, it's still for me like there's a lot of real life stuff that I tie to my Facebook and everything, and I think it would take a lot for me to attempt that and wanting to swap, you know, especially with like, you know, the real life name stuff. People don't care, and maybe that's true.
Well, you can create a fan page to stream from to avoid that too.
Yeah, you could still stream under a username or kind of brand, but it's the people commenting on your stuff that use their names, right?
Yeah, I mean, even they have the option to make the fan page if they really, really are that concerned and wanted to comment under an alias.
True, very true.
Would that fan page have to tie to like your real account? So I'd probably have to make a fake account for that fake page.
It does, but there's no access to it unless you give it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so you have,
so I can hide my
Facebook,
private profile.
Yeah,
exactly. So Facebook has like an option when you go to comment and you have a fan page, you click the drop down and you can choose to comment as yourself or as the said fan page.
Right. Yeah. So that's not as bad as it sounds.
Yeah,
but,
that's not as bad, but it's still it's something completely separate from streaming to me, for my mindset. So I'd probably have to really give it a lot of thought before I would consider something like that. But yeah, it's still interesting to hear about, you know.
Right. Yeah. The other thing about the big user base, which I mean is true, Facebook has the biggest user base, but how many of those people are actually interested in watching live streams versus being in the marketplace or just commenting on people's pictures, or, you know, and some people will probably just be interested by seeing it for the first time. But I mean, you're looking at a dedicated audience versus segmented audience between, you know, Twitch.
That's the other thing where, like, he said that people have trickled in his stream from, like, you know, obviously Twitch is obviously
that'll
pushing,
happen.
or not Twitch, Facebook is obviously pushing him hard, obviously, because he's the face of Facebook gaming. You know, he was their big money investment into content creation when it comes to live streaming video games. But he says he has people come in there all the time that are shocked that this is a thing. Yeah. That people play video games and they love it. And they've never heard of Twitch. They don't even know what Twitch is. But because he was on Facebook and he's on a platform that you wouldn't expect to see that kind of content, you know, you expect to see top-down cooking or, you know, Chewbacca Mom or something like that. You don't expect to see somebody playing video games, and it's that kind of shock value and that kind of push out into the forefront that's really expanding it. And a lot of the problem is, and myself included, and it took me a year to figure it out, is we romanticize this platform. I love Twitch. I've used Twitch since it was Justin.tv. I romanticize the community on here. I romanticize the platform, but that at the end of the day isn't going to, you know, put me where I want to be content creation wise because of the saturation. Unless you have an extremely unique content that you're putting out, or you are just so extremely entertaining, or you are one of the best at the video game, it is very, very, very hard to get out of that low middle ground on this platform because of the saturation and because of how their analytics work in comparison to other sites. And that was a big reason for my move. And I think people need to not sleep on just Mixer, but Facebook and even YouTube gaming. YouTube Live is the second biggest live streaming platform for video games, and nobody talks about it.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree with that idea that people get really quick to just pick Twitch and fall in love with Twitch. And I think that can be a good thing, to just be passionate about what you're doing, but it can also kind of blind you to more opportunity sometimes. So that's a fair point. But I don't want to get too long on Facebook because we've talked about this for a while now. But hopefully if you guys didn't know about Facebook or are thinking about it, that was a helpful conversation for you. We have about like 5 or so minutes left as far as I can tell. So didn't see any big questions. The only one I saw was from Finnan, who said, how does the affiliate partner program work for Twitch streamers looking to also broadcast on Mixer? Is it like YouTube where you can't stream live to both platforms at once, but you can stream on it or post videos at times when you aren't live on Twitch? So that's a pretty easy answered question. Twitch, if you are a Twitch streamer, you can't simul stream to other platforms at the same time. And there are more nuances like Snoop was talking about with, I think you can't post content on another platform, like video platform. I don't know the exact details of it. That's even just like VOD content. Is that right?
Yeah, the way it's worded, Twitch owns your content for 24 hours if you're under contract as an affiliate. As a partner, if I'm not mistaken, you are not allowed to live stream to any other platform, period. Twitch exclusively owns your content by contract. From what I'm told, I haven't seen a partner contract, but from majority of what partners say, you cannot live stream to another platform.
Right. Gotcha. And that is a Twitch specific thing. It's not the case on Mixer.
No, and Mixer allows you to grow your brand even as a partner, however you see fit, as long as majority of your focus is Mixer. So you can even restream as a Mixer partner over to Twitch or wherever else, as long as your main platform and your main focus is Mixer.
Right. Yep. Hopefully that helps you out, Finnan. I know you asked that a little while ago now, but just a quick clarification. It sounds like YouTube has the same kind of rule. I actually really don't know about YouTube streaming, but it sounds like they have a similar rule where you can't post your content other places for 24 hours. So that's kind of interesting.
I actually didn't know about the thing with like you can't even post clips or highlights or the content from it like after you within that 24-hour window. I honestly think that's stupid, but
yeah, it's like, you know, Snoop was talking about how you're not gonna, because top streamers are doing that all the time, right? I mean, you see people like Tim's tweeting out clips as he streams, putting stuff on Instagram. Twitch can't really enforce that very easily unless it's like I think it's more of a protecting themselves type thing if they need it. I don't know.
Or other people could post it too. Like when people, when Tim does crazy, or anybody, you said Tim, anybody does stuff on there and it's a crazy clip, people are instantly going to Twitter and post it like, look at this, it just happened, whatever. And you can't even, obviously you can't control that. They can't really hold you liable for that. Because other people are using their service, but and it's their clips. But at the same time, it's like it's so easy to happen, and other people can do it and stuff. It just seems stupid why you can't post it. Because if anything, it only helps them out. Because if something happened crazy on my stream and I took a clip and I threw it up on Twitter immediately and I'm still live, if people see it and then they go to the clip or whatever and it says, hey, she's still live, like on the clip on the side where it says that, then they might click on that, come to my Twitch, and then just sit and chill and stream. So that brings people to the stream as I'm live too. So that, I mean, it only helps them out. I don't understand. Right. You're advertising their content on other platforms because it's on Twitch. So it just doesn't make sense to me.
I think that's why they don't push it too hard. And the other thing, I think it really just leaves Twitch to reserve the right to copyright strike people on YouTube, especially. So if you upload a video to YouTube while the streamer's live, Twitch can turn around and copyright strike that video and take the monetization from it because they own that content for the first 24 hours that it's live. The other thing, like everybody said, I don't think that it's conducive for Twitch to start banning streamers because they're streaming to other platforms and essentially promoting the website itself and bringing in more money for the person that clicks and has to watch the ad or whatever the case may be. Plus, legally, I mean, you're talking about a past practice that's been going on for years, even though it's a breach of contract. If they really went after like a top streamer, like people are saying, they're holding it in their back pocket. If Tim did something and they decided to ban him because he reposted a clip, legally, he's got such a foothold because this is what I've been doing for 3 years. And today it's a problem. What's the difference between today and the past 3 years? So yeah, it's a big risky move on their part. You've allowed something to go on for so long. It's very hard for them to legally go after you or throw the rule book after you because they've let it go on. And why is today different over any other day? I wouldn't be surprised if you see that change in Twitch's contracts.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It probably will pretty soon with all the different things popping up now,
especially with the growth. Twitch probably hasn't redone their partner contract in a major way since the beginning. Most of their language is probably the same, so other than some TOS updates and stuff like that.
Absolutely agree. Cool. Well, I think we'll get ready to wrap up the show here. So thanks everybody for coming out and watching. Thanks to Snoop for coming on and being our unofficial 4th guest of the day. Appreciate that. So let's do some quick sign-offs, starting with Khlaysi here. Anything you want to say to people where they can find you? Anything to say to just kind of end off here?
Yeah. I mean, the name's in the bottom corner. That's my name on both on Twitch, obviously, and Twitter, I think. Oh God, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's TV. yeah. It has the TV at the end. But yes, that's mostly where you can find me. I'll usually post when I'm going live. I'm just getting back into things. Had the first stream back yesterday of the new year, and hopefully many more to come, trying to get back into the swing of things. So you should see me around a little bit more often now.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks again for being on here. So Snoop, I'll let you do one too here. Anything you want to say to people before I head off?
Well, first of all, SnoopHogTV on all of the things. You can find a Twitch page, but it's just going to redirect you to Mixer. Smile.
Does it actually redirect you now?
Well, I obviously I can't control their website,
Right.
but everything on my page says, you know, hey, go here.
Gotcha.
I've essentially made detour signs for Twitch, but you can find me SnoopHogTV. And for anybody that's looking, don't be afraid to look at other platforms. And again, I'm not some big Twitch hater. I still love Twitch. I'm on Twitch all the time. I'm on Twitch right now, smile. But to be honest with you, take a look at other platforms. It doesn't hurt. And what do you have to lose? Unless you're making thousands of dollars a month and this is your full-time job, what do you have to lose? At the end of the day, it's not like you can't turn around and go live on Twitch again in a month.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth exploring other options, especially if you're new and you're not like locked into something yet. Make sure you look around. But cool. Velok, any last thoughts here?
You can find me at here. Where is it here? Yeah.
Here.com.
Here.com.
At here.
I'm pointing at it, okay? But yeah, I stream 5 days a week and I'm full-time now, so the schedule's a little bit different than it used to be. But come check me out.
Sweet. Cool, guys. Well, this has been StreamKey. I'm GreenChord again. You can find me at GreenChord. Snoop doing all his lights over there. We will be back next week, probably with Snoop, actually, if stuff goes right. We have a lot going on next week, but hopefully we're going to be interviewing Snoop about his move to Mixer next week, which would be cool. So stay tuned for that. And of course, After Dark and Phone and Friday next week as well. You can find us on all the different platforms, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, etc. Just search for StreamKey or Twitch on podcast platforms, and you'll find us. Stick around. We're going to raid somebody at the end of this, and I think Vel's streaming in half an hour. So go check him out if you want to. And with that said, we will kind of sign off. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Adios.